Hello, welcome back to my channel. So in this video, I'm going to do a recap of Sara and Shawn in the last episode of Life After Lockup. Okay, so at the beginning of the episode, they show Sara and she's at her mom's house taking care of her daughter. And she says it's been 2 whole months since she got out of prison and last seen Shawn. So Sara said she went to prison when her daughter was 6 months old, and she missed a lot of her big milestones, like her first tooth, her first steps, her first day at school, and Sara says she can never get those things back. So now she's trying to make up for all this time she lost with her daughter, and she said watching her kids grow up through pictures is the worst thing in the world, and Sara says she refuses to miss out on anything else and wants to make sure more than anything that she's there for her daughter. So then we got Shawn in the shower scene, and they had his rubies blurred out, and I could have went without that scene, WeTV. So Shawn says he's been in Ohio for a few months now, and since Shawn picked up Sara from prison, he hasn't seen her once. Shawn said it's really hard because he lives here alone and he doesn't know anyone, and he really wishes Sara was with him. And Shawn said that him and Sara talk and text on the phone all the time, but every time it comes down to Sara actually seeing Shawn, she always comes up with an excuse and says she's too busy at the last minute. So Shawn is worried because he's sacrificed so much, but even though things aren't working out with Sara, Shawn was able to land himself a job running an automotive shop, and he got a nice little 2-bedroom house. And Shawn said he never imagined he would be living in Ohio alone, and things weren't supposed to be like this. Shawn said he had high hopes that things were gonna work out this time, and Shawn said the fact that Sara hasn't even made an attempt to come over and see him once really hurts and bothers him. So Shawn gets a phone call from the mother of his 6 children, Kelly, and Shawn said he's extremely lonely and doesn't really know anyone out in Ohio, so he's been talking to Kelly on the phone every day. So Kelly asked Shawn how things have been, and Shawn said he hasn't seen Sara at all since she got out of prison, and it's been 2 months. And Kelly was like, dude, that sounds super odd, doesn't it? And Shawn was like, yeah, but she just got out of prison after doing 6 years, and I'm just trying to give her space. I don't want her to feel overwhelmed. And Kelly was just sitting there shaking her head at Shawn. So Shawn said he is really hoping that Sara will eventually come around because he's given up a lot to come to Ohio to be with her. And Kelly said, yeah, just like you did with Destiny. And here you are doing it again like a dummy. And Shawn tried to reassure Kelly that he is confident in his relationship with Sara because she talks to him on the phone and texts him. And Kelly asked Shawn if Sara was texting him and asking him for money. And Shawn just said so nonchalantly, yeah, she asked me for money. I've sent her a little bit of money here and there, like $5,000-$6,000. So you sent her over 5-6 racks just since she's been out of prison? And she still ain't seen you? Shawn, oh my gosh, man. What is wrong with you? What is wrong with Shawn? I feel bad for Kelly. She has to witness her ex and just be such a dummy. I bet when she poured water on him in that first episode, she probably wanted to do way more than that. She probably wanted to slap some sense into him. And Kelly told Shawn that this relationship is just like Destiny, except this one is even worse. At least Destiny stayed with Shawn for a while and slept with him. And Kelly said, how do you know she doesn't have other boyfriends that are sending her money too? So Shawn said he doesn't think she does. And Kelly said, you thought that with Destiny and look how that turned out. And that's true. Kelly's spitting facts. So Kelly said, at least when I ask you for money, it's for our kids. So Shawn told producers that talking about all this stuff with Kelly is really starting to put things in perspective for him. So Shawn said he's going to give Sara an ultimatum and tell her that she either has to see him in person or it's over. I would have done that way sooner than he did, but I'm glad he's finally putting his foot down. So in the next scene, they have Sara, and she's at her mom's house, and her BFF Stacy comes over, and Stacy and Sara were locked up in jail together, and they started hanging out and became BFFs overnight. And Stacy told Sara that she was really disappointed that she wasn't able to pick up Sara from prison because that was the original plan. Sara's BFF Stacy was supposed to pick up Sara, but since Sara was doing the show with Shawn, the producers made Shawn pick up Sara so they could film their first reactions when they met. So Sara said that Shawn has put in so much dedication into her, and he's been sending her money consistently, even with Sara not seeing him. So Sara said she definitely doesn't feel like Shawn respects the fact that she just wants to take things slow. And she said all her other past relationships were just so toxic, and Sara wants to make sure she can trust Shawn. And she just says she needs time to process her feelings. But it's like, how much time do you need? It's been a whole 2 months. But I mean, I don't blame her. She's got the sugar daddy, but she ain't giving him no sugar. That's like the perfect setup right there. So Sara told her friend Stacy, like, hey girl, did I tell you that Shawn moved here? She said that she didn't tell Shawn to move here. He just upped and did it on his own. And Sara said she felt like Shawn put a lot of pressure on her and had a lot of expectations. And Sara said it's stressing her the hell out. And that, Shawn, is why you don't move halfway across the country for someone you've never met. So Sara says she doesn't even know Shawn. So then Shawn finally calls Sara to give her his ultimatum. And I noticed when Shawn called Sara, he had her saved under "My love, Sara." I wonder what Sara has Shawn saved under. Probably Psycho. So Shawn calls her and is telling her about how lonely he is and he doesn't know anybody down here. And Sara said, are you trying to tell me something? And Shawn said, well, yeah, I did come here for you, and the fact I can't see you is crazy. And Sara told Shawn, yeah, but I didn't ask you to do that. So you chose to do that knowing you didn't know what was going to happen. And Shawn said he figured things would have been different, like where they would have at least seen each other a little bit. And Shawn said, I don't understand why you just can't make one day for me. And Shawn said every time it comes down to being able to see Sara, she blows him off or acts like she doesn't even know who he is. And Shawn cut straight to the chase and said, do you have somebody else out here? Like, look at it from my shoes. The 1.5 day we spent together when I picked you up from prison, you just suddenly left in some random car. And Shawn said all that was shady as F. So Sara reassured Shawn that she isn't talking to anyone else. And it was her mom who picked her up. And she said that she's busy being a mom and trying to focus on her daughter. So Sara said she really wishes Shawn wouldn't press her so much, because she believes things would go a lot smoother if he didn't. And Sara said she really wishes Shawn would slow down with everything he had planned in his head. So knowing Shawn, I wouldn't be surprised if he had already bought her an engagement ring for her before she got out of prison. Shawn said, look, I'm not saying your daughter doesn't deserve your time, but I'm just saying I feel like I should deserve a little bit of your time too. He was like, look, I've been there, I supported you. And Sara said, look, money doesn't buy love, Shawn. So then Shawn said, look, you ain't even giving me a chance. Either we got to meet up or just go our separate ways. So I guess next week we'll see what happened. But I know they ended up meeting up because Sara and Shawn are still together in present time according to their Instagrams. And I know he's met her daughter. But that's it for this video. I just thought that storyline was so crazy. It's been a whole 2 months and you still ain't seen her, and now you're just finally deciding to give her an ultimatum. I would have gave her an ultimatum a long time ago. And while Sara's being a mother to her child, Shawn should be a father to his kids. He could be back in Nevada helping his kids out. But here he is in Ohio. For what? I'm still confused. For what? But that's it for this video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.